Hello, good morning and welcome to the Safire Smart Tech Training on Friday. What is it today? 19th of May 2023. So, very shortly, this will be a tech training. I will be doing a recap of the products that we are selling on the Safire Smart brand. After the slides, we were going to have a break for like 10-15 minutes because I want to change something so that you can see the screen of the recorder, right? So that you can see in real life how smoothly it is, how to do the settings, etc., etc. So let's get started. Today's topics, like you have seen in the email, the product line and ranges. Okay, I put it in two in one page because it's just a quick recap. So product line and ranges. First, we have the analog recorders with the BNC cables connections to the analog cameras. It works with the four technologies. There's a B and a E series cameras, and there is the basic, the mid-range and the high-range series of recorders. So the entry level, that's for 2 megapixels, the other one is for 4, and the other one is the 4K resolutions. So the cameras that we have is the B and E series. E-series with starlight sensors for good night vision and 5 megapixel cameras. Now we move on to the IP part. Again, entry level, mid-range and high range. B1 basic stuff up to 4K resolution and basic functions up to 16 channels. And the E1 series, for me, I think that's the most interesting one to have, depending on the situation. If it's like a simple shop with simple surveillance and simple recordings with enough light conditions are very good and clear, you can do it with a B1 as well. Everything advanced or a little bit more advanced, you use the A1 series. And then there's also the A2 series, that's the high-end one. Right, continue. The cameras, the same. We have an entry, mid and high range. The B series, just ordinary cameras, good value for the price. And the E series with option of night color. And of course the E series. Pay attention. The E series comes in 4 and 8 megapixel. The 4 megapixel has the extra options for the advanced AI settings like metadata and people counting, etc. We will see that later on in the course. Then we have the PTZ cameras. Okay, every PTZ camera has auto tracking. Yes, everyone. So let's continue. Let me see if there is a question. I will stop after each slide. I will stop and check with Paul if there is questions. Paul, any questions?
No.
Nope. Let's continue then. So, with Safire Smart, we have 4 types of interfaces. Okay. We have the recorder interface that I will show you later on after the break. We have the web interface. And you know what the nice thing is? Everything looks the same. It's like if you're on the screen on the monitor from the recorder, or if you're in the web interface, everything is almost the same. Little details that could be different, but in general, it's very easy to navigate. If you're in the menu of the recorder, or if you're in the menu of of the web interface. It's really a big advantage. Let's go. This is the main screen of the recorder with the login button. That's the part that's different than on the web interface, because the web interface you have a different login screen. That's normal. Then we have the Safire Smart VMS. Looks a little bit different, but basically it's easy to navigate around because everything looks the same. The web interface and the Smart app. Let's continue to the next one. Installation of the devices. I guess everybody knows how to install a hard drive. In case not, and if you're not sure which cable to connect where, this is an image. At the back, to have an impression, this is one from the A2 models with dual LAN, with 2 HDMIs, one VGA, a USB 3.0, a USB 2, and an eSATA. Remember, the main and the VGA, they always have the same image. So this one you can make a spot monitor, the HDMI2. This is how the power of Ethernet connections look like. This is an image of the I/O for the alarms. You can connect the keyboard here, and here you can control any other type of PTZ cameras or zoom cameras that it needs to be controlled with an RS485 connection. Audio in and out. This is something important. I noticed that some people still make the mistake in connecting the recorder directly on the router. That's not always smart, depending on the amount of cameras, the stream capacity of the cameras, the megapixels, etc., etc. So the best workaround is to get a PoE switch with 2 uplink ports. One you connect to the NVR, the other one to the router, and on the rest you will connect the cameras. In this case, all the traffic will be only in this PoE switch, so nothing will go to the router unless you access the recorder from your own computer. Yes, but the streams will be not that heavy. So any streams of the cameras to the recorder will not affect your local network. Continue. Here an image of a recorder with 2 LAN connections. One, you go directly to the router, and the other one to the switch. And this has its own IP range. Be aware of this IP range needs to be different from the router. Otherwise it will not work. We will discuss this in another slideshow. Let's continue. Oops. Let me see. Wrong link. I'm sorry. Oh, we need to go here to installing the Smart VMS. Well, I think everybody knows how to install a program. If not, just read this document. Again, these documents are in the link that my colleague already yesterday sent. If you do not have it or lost it by mistake, don't worry so much. Send us an email, and Paul or I will, or Niels, or whoever your sales contact is, will send you a new one. Okay. Let's go to the first boot of the NVR. You can check this. I recorded it, so if you are curiously how it works, you press play. Let's do it a little short play. The initializing takes a few seconds. It's not that long. Oh, by the way, every camera that you connect in the PoE from the recorder is new out of the box by default, not activated, will be automatically activated by the recorder. So that you can see here at the left top. Follow the wizard and you will be fine. Okay, so if you have time later on, you can watch this. Okay, let's continue. Okay, installation, like we saw in the other pictures, this is the one with the PoE connections. Well, I guess you already know how to connect those cables. I have here all the images that we also have in the video with all the explanations. Well, anyhow, I think it's pretty straightforward. And if you're very new, this is the first time you're ever installing a recorder, just watch the video carefully and the slideshow if you need to. Let's go all the way down. Okay, so basically the first visit can cover everything. Like with basic stuff, you could be running online with 10 minutes. It's really easy. Let's continue to the next one. Okay. The live view. Basic live view. In here, you have the various options that you can choose to. I clarified everything here. Also, when you're on the screen and you hold your mouse on the icon, it will show you what it is. Okay. There's a. Well, I think it's pretty straightforward. Let's go to the application. How to enable it. You log in via settings, then you go to network, then you select TCP/IP. From there you go to the NAT interface and you will enable. Click on apply, open your mobile app, Safire Smart app, scan the QR, open this one because you need to have the security code to add the recorder. Okay, let's go to the next slide, number 6. Okay, here we have the app. Okay, if you have downloaded and installed the application, you're not directly logged in. If you scan a camera or scan a recorder, you're directly connecting to the recorder, not using any peer-to-peer connection. Okay. For this, you need to register it. Log in, use your email address. You will get an email with the verification code. Accept it, and then you're in. So let's go to the next slide. I know I'm going too fast, but I want to finish around 12 o'clock, and I want to show you all the settings in the recorder itself. I think it's very important to see because this one is a game changer. It's so fast, it's so smoothly, responds very fast. So, and this is the reason why I'm going a little bit faster. And you have the option to read everything back. So, so if you're logged in, and this answers the question that we had before. So, in October, you will have this button. I know some of you already saw it. It was a mistake because it's not ready yet. It works great, by the way. I wish they just keep it, but anyhow, there seems to be slight little bugs. I didn't notice anything, but anyhow, we need to be patient and wait for October. Yes, it's October. I'm sorry. But anyhow, we have something. Click here to connect to Easy Connect that you used to be using. You have everything all in one app. That's amazing. Playback, everything works. Even nicer. So you can have the Safire recorder, but also a Hikvision recorder, and also a Nevian recorder. So I think this is the answer to most questions. It's amazing. Okay, let's go. Okay, smart app on your mobile device. Okay, so of course you need to install it first on your mobile, but we had already done this. You go on the screen of the recorder. By the way, a few things that has to do with security issues, like this one, adding the recorder into the application, needs to be done via the recorder. Also, a default factory settings of the recorder needs to be done via the recorder itself. I will show that later on as well. So you go to, you log in, you go to network, then TCP/IP, then you go to NAT address translation, then you will see you need to enable, then you click on apply, and then you scan this QR code, or in case your camera is broken, you can also manually add the serial number. You need to confirm with the security code, enable this eyebrow to see the password or the security code, what you need to add. Here's some images how you can scan it. So you go to the upper right, click on this menu icon, and then click on the three dots, and then you do add device. If your camera is working, go to the QR code. If not, you click here on manual enter, and then you will enter the serial number, okay? If that is done, this will show up. Please enter the security code that you need to have from the screen that I just showed you. Username and password, for in case you have another user, they can use their username and password, because you can make some restrictions for any user to view or view recordings, etc., etc. And then at the end, you will see in the server list your recorder. Well, in this case, all the images I made using this recorder model, this is from the mid-range series. I think these are amazing, and it will work for most cases. I will say 95%. The camera settings. By the way, I made it very easy. So if you're here, you will see all the main menu items that you will see when you're opening. Oh, I don't have it. Yeah, okay. Everything you see here, I have at the top. So if you want to go directly to image, you click on image. Let's show you. Manage camera, and then you'll see here. You can skip directly to the part of the page that you want to use if you need assistance on this topic. Right? Okay, adding cameras. You go to the function panel, click on cameras, add cameras, and oh, the nice thing is, it's really amazing. You can set default passwords. Like here, so if you're in quickly add, you go click on default passwords, then you will get this screen. You can enter the username and the default password. You can do that for OnVIF cameras. You can do that for Hikvision cameras, and you can do that for Dahua cameras, and also for recorders. So if you have multiple systems or cameras in the network and you want to record everything on your recorder, and you have different types of passwords for different models of different brands, you can enter this easily. So it's a big plus. Makes life a little bit easier. Also, there's the option to manual edit. You click also on the protocol, what you want to use. Pretty straightforward. Later on, if there are some changes or by mistake it is not the same password, you can always use edit camera to edit the camera and change the passwords and the settings. Yeah, you can make group cameras. Later on in the presentation you can see why it could be useful to make group cameras. For example, if there's a supermarket, you have cameras pointing at the corridors of the supermarket, and you have cameras pointing at the cash register. In this case, you can make 2 groups of cameras, or any type of, or outside cameras, you can make 3 groups of cameras. This you can use later on in some or different settings. Okay, let's continue. Editing group, dwell time, for if you have like 4, 4, 4, 4, you can change the way they jump to the next cameras. Image settings. In this case, yeah, what I like, I noticed that a lot of people have these nice, compact, small laptops, right? The settings on your web interface has been made that you can use a big screen and an even smaller screen. Because if, for example, we click on, we have the OSD settings, you have one part over here, okay, and you have the other part over here. Basically, this is all your cameras. So if you're using a bigger screen, you're probably using this because it goes faster. But if you have a smaller screen, it's quite simple. You click here on the camera and you change directly the camera, and you can change the settings here instead of here and going to the left or right. So it's a big plus for the installers, for you guys. Well, image quality. By the way, I think the image quality is amazing, even by default. So in many cases, should be very fast. You don't need to adjust. Okay, if you have some special locations or occasions, yes, you can change it whenever you need it. Mask settings, you can enable this. You have fisheye mode. Unfortunately, I ordered one, but I don't have it yet. So maybe, I think in the future there will be also an article about how to set up the fisheye camera. On every camera you can enable motion detection. You can find that in motion detection on the same menu tab. Also the PTZ cameras you can find over here. You can add presets, the cruise group, trace, task, and smart tracking. I think a lot of people are very interested in smart tracking. Later on, when we're going to view the recorder itself, I will show you some steps how to set it up. Because for the auto tracking, at first it looks a little bit complicated, but you need to lock the PTZ controls to enable smart tracking. There are 2 options, automatically and manually. I will explain that later. But all these you can find in the PTZ settings. And you can find the reference over here, backwards. Let me see if I have an image of the lock. Okay, here you have the option of auto tracking manually and automatically. I see I don't have an image of the lock position, but I will show you later on. Don't worry. Any questions on this topic?
No.
No? Okay, clear for now. Now the recordings. Again, you go to function panels, you select record. Again, this menu is exactly the same as in the recorder. I will show you later on again. So let's start with record. Okay, recording modes. Like the wizard showed you already, you can select directly any type of recording mode for all the cameras. If you do not want that, you can change that as well later on. But if all the cameras for quick installations, it's very easy and simple to go on. Advanced, you can set the dual stream record, main stream record, and substream recording. Post and pre-alarm settings. Expiration time. In some countries, you only are allowed to record 30 days of the month, of 30 days of recordings. So you can set this on 30 days. Very convenient. Or if that's the wish of the client, you change it to whatever he wants to. Event recordings, schedule recording settings, and the substream recordings. At the end, you have the record status. So you have a nice overview. Hey, what is exactly happening on this moment? For example, you see here the frames per second. These are all Safire Smart cameras. This is a Dahua PTZ. It works. And you see that it has the mainstream on 12 and the substream on 25 because this one is limited. Let's move to the next one and see if we have questions.
No questions.
Nice. Okay, let's continue. I think this is the most interesting part, especially for those people that love these technologies. Okay, so same thing again. We go to the AI event, click on one of those trees, and then you will see the overview. Okay, let's go to the event notification. Now we have the option of alarm out, email settings, display, buzzer. The buzzer is the thing that makes noise in the recorder. If you didn't install the hard drive, everybody knows that. You can activate it for any type of event. Push messages, audio, light, and alarm server. Okay. I guess that everybody knows how this works with the alarm out. You can have a schedule, set the delay, name, etc., etc. Email address set up. Okay, for the email address, okay, be aware that if you're using a Google or some other public services for emails, it's not going to work directly. You need to activate third-party support. This has nothing to do with the recorder. It has to do with the public services of, for example, Gmail. Let me see, do I have a link? I thought I had a link somewhere. Then I think it will be in some other slide. Anyhow, event display, pop-up duration. For example, if you have in the event the pop-up, it will be on the monitor of the recorder, a pop-up during an event. The buzzer, the push message, okay, you can test it. You can make a schedule as well. You can see it on your Apple Watch if you have one. It's nice, it works. Voice broadcast, you can record or upload a file. I think I have, yes, I have here a test file. You can download that one because it cannot be too big. So you need to check that out. It will show you as well. If you click on add, it will show you exactly the format that you need. There is a sample. So if you're not sure if the recorder is working, download the sample, upload the sample. If it accepts and it is working, you need to check your settings. Light settings, not for infrared lights, for if you have the white LEDs that are for, I think all the night vision or night color cameras do have those options of the white LEDs. Okay, let's say alarm server, that's coming soon because I still need to find an alarm server to test it on. If you have a situation, please give me the details, give me the login of the alarm server, and we will figure it out together. Let's go to AI events. Okay, this is, I think for me, it's the most interesting part. We all know the basic events, line crossing humans, cars, trucks, etc. Intrusion. Face detection, I guess it's also very familiar to everybody. For me, what I really like is the video metadata. What is the video metadata? Video metadata, it concerns how a person or an object looks like. Like it can detect if you're wearing glasses, it can detect if you're wearing a hat, even the color of your jacket. It can detect or guess your age as well. It can detect if it's a female or a male. All those things will be saved in the recorder without capturing the face data. So, because it's a big topic of privacy laws, that you cannot store face details. But anyhow, with this metadata, you can look for a person with a black jeans, for example, wearing glasses. Very nice. The other option is target counting. It could do people counting. I know some of the clients are already testing with it and are very, very happy with this solution. By the way, all these options, depending on the type of camera, is a camera from the I series 4 megapixel, not 8 megapixel. Let's continue. Okay, well, what I was saying is like, this is amazing. This part is fantastic. Again, in the I series 4 megapixel, 8 megapixel, it doesn't exist yet. Well, they exist, but not with the extra fantasy options that make your life easier. And this is a really big selling point in case your clients need it. Well, and again, you can set the schedule, the rules, everything. I made a video of everything, so you see, it costs time to make this. And yeah, if you want to see anything how it works, you just click on play, or you put it on big screen. So everything, almost everything is documented in the II events, okay? So just view the videos. I don't think we need to see that right now. Because I think it's very important that you know where to find stuff. Because I think it's almost impossible to save every information that I'm telling you right now. But I want you to know it's there. I want to go over all the options so that you know where to find it and that it is there. If you're missing something, just write us an email, call us, we help you, we assist you, and later on we will make a frequently asked questions article about that as well. But all the basic stuff is here. You see here, LPR is coming. It's coming soon, okay? I cannot wait because there's some amazing features that you should be able to use. I will show you later on what you can expect. Okay, fire detection with the thermal cameras is coming soon. Same with temperature detection. Video metadata, how you can set it up, it's here. Target, this is people counting or cars counting in and out, okay? object abandoned or missing as well. Could be used in bus stations, could be used in airports, in high-risk zones. It's a nice extra selling point. And it's available even in those A1 recorders. It's amazing. Okay, also crowd density, it's coming. I don't know yet what the plans are, but if you see it working, it's amazing, especially for big events or small events or any kind of situation you need this. Okay, general events. It's on motion detection, sensor, combination alarm. Oh, that's very interesting, by the way. If the camera is offline and the exception alarms. Remember when we talked about the beepings when you didn't have the hard drive installed? You can disable that over here. Depending on the model of the recorder, you have the amount of inputs. You can connect sensors here. You can also set the schedule of the sensor. Later on, I will show you as well that you can switch on and off the alarm notifications in your mobile app. It can work just like your normal alarm system. Okay, combination alarms. For example, you want to have a door sensor triggered and the camera, and then you would like to receive the notification. You can set that up here. It's very advanced if you want to. This I would definitely activate. If a camera is offline, you need to know that directly. Exceptions alarms, no. Well, here you can change that, like a hard drive full, you want to have a notification, you want to have the buzzer on or off, etc., etc. You do this over here. System disalarm. Like I just mentioned, this you can use your application on your mobile device to just disable the alarm notifications or any type of settings. Okay, this is a little bit advanced. You can keep it simple or you can make it as difficult as you want, depending on the wishes of the client, of course. But a lot of different options are available. So instead of killing your alarm notifications, you just go to the right and you swipe, turn off the notifications. So in here, you see that you can add sensors, you can add cameras. And in here, for example, you if you click here on configure, you can select what items you want to turn off. Like, for example, for me, I would turn off the push notification because any events I want to be recorded. Okay, I don't want to delete that, depending, of course, on the situation. But if I'm at home, I don't want to have any push notifications from the cameras inside the house. But outside, I would like to. So this you control here. Hard drive, disk management. Storage mode, again, click on this, you go down directly to the topic. Okay. In here you can, well, in this recorder I have only the option of installing one hard drive, so I cannot add any more. But if you want to add another drive, you can do that with this one. Disk information, well, if you have one installed, you see the status, and you see that I didn't encrypt it because I don't think it's necessary. Some people like to have it encrypted, I can imagine. I mean, especially if there are some sensitive information. You see the model number. Oh, I always, we recommend to use the purple disc from Western Digital because they have a special option. I will show you later on. Anyhow, you can see the status of everything. Most thing is, for us, this, in good health, okay? You can see the temperature and you see the days that it's already active. So in case there is something wrong and you see this, it's not healthy, okay, maybe you should take a screenshot and send it to us. But in general, if it's repeating, yes, it should be important to save this data. In other cases, replacing the hard disk with a new one is easier and faster, and I think at the end it's cheaper as well. With the version digital purple disk, you can have this device analytics enabled, so you can see directly that the disk is healthy. Okay, let's continue with the network settings. Okay, let's continue. Let's go. Okay, you will see here the Ethernet port. Start with using the DNS of Google, or if you have another one that works fine and fast for you as well, use that one, because the basic ISPs, they are sometimes a little bit laggy using the domain server. So this one is fast. It's good. Well, from my experience. Okay. Next up is the internal Ethernet ports. If you're using a PO recorder, Power over Ethernet recorder for your cameras, you will have this section as well. Something is important. Okay. By the way, I've never seen a local network with this IP address range, so in general it should be good. In case you are in a network with this IP range, okay, you need to change the internal port settings to 20. Otherwise, you have a conflict, or you change the second octave or the third one, okay, depending on your subnet mask. If you're in some type of similar situation and you need assistance, just give us a call. We can do a quick remote and we can help you out with those settings. So basic line is the IP range from the internal port cannot be the same as the external port. It works the same as a router within a network. So this is the answer of one of those questions. Can you change the port settings? Yes, you can. I also advise to enable future host. What is future host? If you're in the camera settings, you click on the IP address of the internal camera, you directly go on your web page to the login of the camera. I have an image here. Look. So if you have this enabled, you just click on this and you see this is the internal IP address. It's 10.151.151 and it's 108. Why this is 108? Because I used a different brand camera and to show that it's working. And in here you can log in to the configuration page of the camera. And this, by the way, this is an AI camera because we cannot use the functions of line crossing of humans. We need to do this in this camera and add an SD card in the camera, for example. But anyhow, I think a lot of people will at the end not use it and use just the motion detection. Okay, DNS, if you're using DNS, there are different options to choose from. Set it up, and if you come across anything, just ask us for advice. This, what I was talking about with the previous article about your email settings. Here you have directly the link that Google helps you to share your data safely with third-party apps and services. In this case, if you want to use a Gmail to send you the notifications by email and the number of images of etc., whatever information you would like to have from the recorder, send by email, read this page. It's very important. Without changing your account settings, this will not work. Okay, it's very important. if you want to use your email for receiving stuff. Okay, again, on the NAT part for your peer-to-peer connections, we already discussed this. HTTPS, FTP settings, cloud upgrade. So in the future you should be able to upgrade your recorder in the cloud. For now, I've not seen it yet, so I guess we're doing a good job with the firmware working very smoothly. Streaming settings as well, you can adjust it. I would advise to use the highest level and the H265 Plus because it costs lower bandwidth. You see some cameras doesn't have it, like this other type brand camera doesn't have it. On-5 integration, you can add it as well. Platform access will be coming soon. These as well. You can check the network status. You can see the IP address, etc., etc. Safire Smart account settings. Here you can edit the account in the recorder. You can add one, you can edit one. Let's go directly to the account settings. Oh, what is nice in this case, if you edit, by the way, it was a client that pointed me to that direction. You can edit the admin username. Not a lot of recorders can do this. For security reasons, this is very nice. You can make up a name or any type of username you want for admin rights. So I think at the end, the client will be more secure with this nice feature. Okay. Also, if you add another person, you can say what he can see and not can see or do. Listen to audio, yes or no, doing searches, stuff like that. So it could be very advanced. So let's go back to the users, okay? You can edit users, you can create groups, and you can also, it's easier, like if you have a lot of people in that situation that needs to view or different groups that can view recordings or can only view live viewings or can only view recordings, etc., etc. You can make groups and add persons to those groups. It's very advanced. Security, you can block and add MAC addresses, IP addresses for people that are remote logging in or using a VPN. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You can add a MAC address if you do not want anybody from that MAC address to log in. Then we have the ARP guard. I will try to do that later on because I need to figure it out how it works exactly. I hope some people know it already, but I've never worked before with this one. Okay. Password security. In this case, because of testing, I choose to have a weak password. You can make it as complicated as well. You can also add an expiry time for it, so that if the time is expired, that the user need to create a new one. I guess everybody will use never expire, but in some critical situations like banks, for example, that has a certain type of protocol that they need to follow, that they need to change a password every month, etc. It's possible with this device. A user status, you can see which user is online, if it's connected local on the recorder or via any IP address. You will see that over here. Let's continue to the last slide. And I will wait if there are some questions. No questions? Okay, let's go. In the last part, we have the system settings. We have the basic settings, view log, and backup and restore. Some things is important to know with the maintenance settings, okay? So in here, the general settings, you can change the device name, you can change the device number. You can change the video format, in this case in PAL for most of European countries, except for France, they're using the other system. You can also set the resolution of your display out. On the main unit, I have only one connection over here, so the main is connected directly to the VGA, so it doesn't matter. You can enable the wizard again that you had in the first boot, or you can disable it if you forgot to disable it. The dwell times you can set automatically to 10 minutes, flip from one image to the other one, or camera I should say. This one works extremely well with the summertime, wintertime ENSP. It worked better than ever you saw in the previous generation of Safire. It's amazing. Don't forget to enable the summertime, otherwise you need to run to your client again because he has the wrong time. Output settings, you can add new frames, how you want to have your camera set up on the main output of the recorder. A point of sale, please ask your IT guy for the settings. If you have an issue, write us an email, give us the detail, what is the format, what type of server they're using, what type of system. In general, the guys that maintain and install those point of sale systems, they already know what to put in, so it should not be your headache. Okay, in here, I had a question of POE management. We can find it as well here. So we can switch the POE on or off. This is a nice sample. You need to be aware of what time you see the current power usage. This, for example, is in daytime. It doesn't use that much. But if the infrared light goes on, this is the same camera, and then with the infrared on, it's using more. So it's using almost 2 watts more. So in this case, if some things are wrong, like a black image or anything else, you can see that here. You can see this one has a total power of 69 watts. So in this case, I have plenty left. So if cameras are working funny, or if sometimes you have an issue, hey, camera falls out, check the current power, because if there's moisture in the camera, it can create a resistance or can create a shortage that will not directly blow up the views. So you will see that back here in the power used. Okay, these are nice features to have, to check, to analyze if you have issues with your cameras. OSD, on-screen display settings, you can enable the name and the icon. I will show you later on in the live demo as well. Maintenance, you have you have the log views. Okay, you can see what is going on. You can open the details. You can even directly click on play, and you will see what was happening in that event. So I need to say I like this recorder very much, because in all the cases you need to see an event, you can click on play or see the image or see the recording. So you don't need to go back to recording, then select the date, then the time. No, just directly play and you see the replay back. So factory default. These screenshots are made from the web interface. The web interface works in the default settings a little bit different. You cannot do a default factory resettings that you need to activate the recorder again. It's not possible, safety reasons. What you can do is do a default all. It will put everything back, but you do not have the option to select the language, etc., etc. So in any case, if you want to send back a recorder to us because it was wrong ordered or it was the wrong model and you couldn't do the options in this model and you need to buy a new one and you want to send this one back to us, you need to do that via the monitor of the recorder. Perhaps, I hope you never need to do this, but anyhow, in case you cannot find it in the web interface, you need to use the recorder interface. Okay, backup, restore. Well, you can back up your settings, your configuration. For example, I think it's always useful if you have a good working setup for the client, make a backup. Maybe the client do something wrong, mess up some settings. You don't want to be sitting hours there to figure out what he did wrong because there are so many options. Better you save those configurations. Okay. Reboot. If you do changes, I always recommend doing a reboot. Make sure your changes also has been saved correctly after the reboot. If you do this and it still works fine, you did a good job. Especially after firmware updates. And in some cases, you need to remember if you did a firmware update because there was something not working well or there are some new options, do a factory reset. Because sometimes with a firmware update, you need to have those programming lines be changed and those settings, and it only works when you do a factory reset. Auto maintenance, you can set that, days of interval and the time. Information, basic information. You can see here the camera model, the recorder model name. You can see the video format. About this machine, this is where you can see the firmware and some other information, serial number as well. So in case you have issues and you think it's firmware related, please send those details to us as well. Camera status. You can see directly, hey, the cameras are online. If there's alarm, in some cameras you will not see it because it's a different brand, like this one, but you can see it's recording. Alarm status. Again, here you can see, hey, there is an alarm exception. Again, the nice feature, click on play. You directly see what is the event. So you don't need to go back to recordings. It's, I think it's very convenient. Record status, you can see the resolution, the schedule, everything for mainstream and substream. You see, again, 25 frames per second on the Safire Smart camera. It's nice. Network status, disk status, like we saw before as well. So let me quickly show you where to find the other articles. So you go to IP, and then you see Safire Smart NVR and Safire IP cameras. Let's go to the password reset, okay? Because that was the question. It works different from the recorder than on the IP camera, okay? Let's open this one. So when a client or you forgot the password, first thing I will tell you, hey, why didn't you use the questions and the answers? Well, it happens. People forget stuff. I forget stuff as well. But you can prepare. You click on retrieve password. Then you have the option of questions. If you did the questions, question 1, you answer, you will have your password recovered. If that's not the case, you click on dynamic password. what happens in dynamic password, you will have this screen with your MAC address, okay, and the current time. We need this information. So we need it. Please take a photo of the screen. Make sure this is readable, because without this information we cannot generate a password, a recovery password, and also the MAC address. It needs to be clear. If not, we cannot do anything. So you need to wait until you give us the proper information. Do not close this dialog as well. Keep this page open. If you do, and we send a recovery password, it will not work because it's related on this moment, this exact moment, right? Any questions about this password recovery? Anyhow, I hope everybody can see the live view of the recording, and also we have this camera here, you see? It's all live, so it's not fake. I think that's important. The reason that I did this and how I did the setup is as follows. I used a HDMI capture card. Okay, it has a little bit slow reaction, but you will not notice it. Okay, so when I move the mouse here on the recorder, it will show a little bit later on the screen, but that has to do with Windows and the HDMI capture card. Okay, I think it's important to see this live from the recorder, because this is your selling point. This is what the client is always looking at. First, what we want to see, it works fast. It works really fast. Okay, let me show you the interface. Okay, previously we made this setting to have a different split on the main view. Okay, I think this one for me is very comfortable. Here we have the PTZ camera. Here we have the outside camera with line crossing. It's pretty windy here. We have a test situation that's very flexible. Here we have the camera that's actually a Hikvision camera. So we are showing you how to do that as well. And this one is connected to the PoE of the recorder. This one is a PTZ of X security, and it moves as well. Let me see. What we do is here, we click on the PTZ functions, and we can go to the right. You see, it's working. Zoom as well, eh? Okay, let's close this. On each camera, if you click, you have the options for that camera. So you have playback, you have audio, if there's audio on the camera, obviously. You can take a snapshot, you can see directly, you can export it and save it. PTZ options, you have here the controls, like I showed you. You can do a zoom in, digital zoom in, adjust the images settings. For example, if the colors are not correct, adjust it here. I don't think it's needed. If you have a microphone audio in connected on the recorder, you can even talk if the camera has a speaker. Target detection. If I click on this one, you will see here the target detection. For this sample, let's see what the settings are, because I forgot. So if we go to the target settings, we go to settings, we go to AI, we just click on one, and I think I have metadata enabled. So what we see is here, detection of the car, what color it is. So if we go back to the main screen, and we go here and we select the metadata. If there's a car passing, we will show the details of this car. Unfortunately, we don't have anything right now, but if, for example, if we set it here, target detection. So, for example, this is a target detection. So, if I want to see this image directly, and look how fast this is going. Okay, I'm clicking right now. You will see directly the image, how fast it is going. If I want to see 30 seconds back, bam, it's amazing fast. Another 30 seconds back. It's really amazing how fast this recorder works. What is more interesting to see?
In general, anybody who has a question, who wants for Ferdy to show you something, let us know. Of course, we have basically unlimited time to show you whatever you would like to see. I think for now, Ferdy maybe could say something of the PTZ, something of the. I know we discussed it.
Okay, let's go to the intelligent analytics.
Perfect.
This is also available on the VMS. So, but I like to see I would like to show it on the recorder as well, because eventually I think the end user that is using those type of options will use this. Okay, and let's make a sample of cars. Okay, let's trigger the outside cameras. Okay, I have this one and this one outside. Okay, so trigger the events and the targets. Okay, let's say we want to have a red car. You want to see all red cars. Okay, so what I do here, I select car, red car, and I click on search, and I will see also white cars. Okay, this can be the reason, because I selected more than one camera. So let me, because this one doesn't have, this one has the line crossing on. Okay, let me, yesterday I made a demo, it worked perfectly. Okay, yeah. This is the nice stuff of having demos, right?
Also, by the way, I have the LPR cameras, which will come before the summer, hopefully, or at least in the summer. We can also use more of the functionalities that you see right now in the frame, where you can also filter on plate numbers, etc. Anything that you would like to filter on. Okay,
and another thing is, again, it's fast. It's really fast. This one has the auto tracking enabled, so if I click on play, it directly plays. It's really amazing. Let me see if there's some nice images, because it's. Okay, let's. Oh.
We will check again, by the way, the filter. Maybe to put another filter to make it maybe more narrow.
Mm-hmm. So let's see where this truck is heading to. So you see directly here the playback. Let's try some human filtering, okay? All cameras. Let me select only the outdoor camera. I don't think it's.
No.
Now I remember. I forgot. I forgot to select the metadata. Let me do this one as well. Okay. So what we want to have is somebody with glasses. Okay. We do okay. Then we search. And now we, generally speaking, should see people with glasses.
It's important to also then select the metadata filter in this case.
Yeah.
Because then it does work, as you can see.
You see all people with glasses. It works amazing, because sometimes you cannot even see if they're having glasses. Let me take this sample, for example. Let's
By the way,
put it on play.
all the specifics that you can see, which is gender, age, mask, headwear and glasses, are things that could be used by, for example, police forces. That it will filter on when there's a suspect. So
all these options, like Paul said, are available. Okay, so let's add red. Okay, let's see. And we search. I don't know what is red. Ah, the jeans is red,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's red, so it works. The only mistake that I previously made is not selecting the metadata. So it's all depending on selecting. So statistics, you can see here, people counting. I don't know if it was on. It also depends on if you have the camera settings on to that function, if you want to filter on that function. So generally speaking, if you want to have people counting, you need to have the iSeries camera 4 megapixels, set the events on target counting. If you set it on metadata, you cannot count people. If you set it on counting people, target counting, you cannot select on metadata. So it's not possible for one camera having two options. So for example, if there is an entrance of a shop, you want to do people counting and metadata, you need to have two cameras installed pointing at the door. Okay, so let's see.
We got a question about in between. Is it like this function? Is it available on all the Safire Smart cameras?
No, only the iSeries 4 megapixels. Choose an event. We can do also face detection, intrusion, target counting. So in here, you see the statistics of people that entered. This is one of those test cameras we have installed in our department. The way it installed, it's not the perfect situation, but anyhow, it counted well. No, not a lot of errors detected. The reason that you can see a difference is because there is also an exit from our department. And again, the situation, how we installed it, is not perfectly, but anyhow, it works. Every time somebody crosses the line, it will count one person in or out. Anyhow, test it yourself. Ask your salesperson, buy at least the A1 recorder and an iSeries camera with 4 megapixels and ask for the advanced and select the advanced AI events options. Then you should be handling all this statistics and searches. Sample database. You see some of my colleagues smiling. You see, he's a little bit worried. He's the happy one. Anyhow, be aware that take quality pictures with your mobile. Use your mobile app to add people. But anyhow, in a lot of countries, it's forbidden to register those faces until, or you need to have permission to do that. Same for license plates, but anyhow, this will be coming later when we have the LPR cameras. Same for parking lots. Okay, you can manage your parking garage with the cars, limited cars, how many spaces are remaining. You can put a spot monitor on the spot so that people can see also how many cars. You can use the relays on the recorder to add the traffic light, full or not full. So it's nice and suitable for parking garage. Okay. What you can do more is face attendance, for if you want to see if people were at the job on time or not. You can do the face check-in over here. You can select the cameras. You can do the filtering, etc., etc. Let me see if I have anything. Search. Okay. I see nobody checked in. Depending also again on the settings of the cameras. If you do not select that camera to have the face check-in, it will not show here in the statistics. So if you have a project with these special options, if you have doubts, ask us or give me a call or write to your salesperson, and if they're not sure, they will definitely contact one of us to make sure that it works. Okay. Any questions on this analytics?
No questions.
No questions. Okay, let's close this. Let's see what is playback. Okay, yes, we can do directly playback here. 5 minutes ago, 1 second ago. Let's select the 5 minutes. And obviously I need to select the camera. I do playback. And I directly have all those cameras available. What is nice with the Safire Smart is you see all the colors of different types of activities. Okay. Here, if you have sensors connected, and the motion sensor detected a motion, you will see here the red line. Okay, I didn't have any motion detectors connected at the moment. AI functions, you see it here in light blue. You can see directly and click on it and play back. You see? Okay. I think the playback is pretty clear, right? Let me do something else, because it took me a little bit more than usual how to set up the auto tracking mode. Let me see if I still remember. I do have a article about this in case you need to do it later on. So you go to camera, you go to PTZ, and then you have smart tracking. Okay, it's here enabled. Still time. This one is not here. Still time needs to be enabled. If it's disabled, it will not work. Okay. Here you can set up the time as well. So again, like there are 2 sections where you can do it. So if you have multiple cameras, PTZ cameras here with auto tracking, it will show here. And if you have here, you can select with a different one. Okay. What's the difference between auto tracking mode and manual mode? In manual mode, you will be having the option to move the camera left or right. In auto mode, you do not have it. So, what is the advantage of auto mode? It's always active, the auto tracking. What is the disadvantage of the manual mode? As soon as you touch the controls of left or right, zoom in, out, you have a timeout that you can set here, 10 seconds, that it will be enabling the auto tracking again. So again, if it's in manual mode, you move the camera all the way to the left. After 10 seconds, it will go to home mode. You need to set home preset as well. It will get to home mode, the home presettings, and then it will activate the auto tracking again. Yeah, so like in here, you will not see the security camera that I have installed on this recorder as well. But if I go back to the presets, also the zoom camera has it, right? So this is the security. What I can do, I can make a preset here. I can even make a name. So I made a preset now. So if I go a little bit to the right, I can make another preset. Go. So those preset works. Again, for this one, the presets that I programmed before on this one, I did it in the camera. I recommend to using the recorder if you use a recorder.
Yeah, by the way, 2 more questions. Right, it's okay to ask.
Has it to do with the PTZ?
Yes, but this one is like the auto track is a recorder. The auto track is a recorder future and not dependent on PTZ camera future, or needs to both support auto track?
It's related to the camera. And all our, yes, we have only one now in stock, so it's only showing one on the web page. They're coming 5 more models, I guess, or 4.
Well, there will be at the summer, at least 2 are confirmed, and the other ones, I mean,
3 are in the system.
okay, 3 are in the system, and it will be before the summer, we hope. But of course, the sales team can update you on this. Also, when we know, of course, a arrival date, we will communicate this, and it should be shown on the website. For now, I don't think it is. Niels, maybe you can check this in between. But for now, from the top of my head, I don't know an arrival date. And then we have another question quickly about this, which is for how long time will the camera follow the object when using auto tracking?
Yeah. This you can set up the time that it needs to track. And in this case, you saw it's 10 seconds. So I can do it 30 seconds. So what happens is when it's tracking a person, a car, okay? Let's take a sample of a person because that's more obviously. If a person is not visible anymore, the amount of waiting time you'll find here. So in this case, 9 seconds. If the person didn't show up again within 9 seconds, he will roll back to his home position. Another thing that I noticed yesterday by testing is it will track the first person of intention. So when he recognizes the first object, it's going to track the first object. So if the other one enters a trigger of auto tracking, he will not follow that one. He will always follow the first one. Unless they come in line that it looks to be only one. I don't know what the camera is going to do. But anyhow, this I didn't check. But anyhow, obviously, a camera can only track one. But you can be sure that when it's in line of sight, it will track only the first person that entered or activated the auto tracking.
By the way, one question from like an hour ago, I don't remember. It's like, are all the cameras by default on constant bit rate?
Oh, yeah, we can.
No,
We can check. Well, it depends on the settings. I always advise to use the codec, the H.265. And let's go back then. Do I want to do it now? Hold it for 1 second. I will just go quickly to the cruise options. Okay, in the cruise options, you no. Let me take this one because I had some.
By the way, quickly, while Ferry looks this up quickly, thank you, Niels, for looking for.
In the cruise options?
Yeah. They know what the PTZs was the question from before. That the middle of June, the stock of one PTZ model will enter, and the other 2 end of May. So it will actually be sooner than we think. So sorry, and yes, there are 4 already in the system. So yes, correct what Ferry was saying, and yeah, let us know if you want to, have information about these models.
All right, cruising, add cruising. To enable cruise mode, you need to add presets. Okay, so you saw before that I made 2 presets. So I add here a preset that I call high. How long does it need to take? How fast does it need to go there? You can also do that. For example, if one preset is at the left side, the other one completely at the right side, and you think it's nice to have a slow movement from the one to the other one. So if there's something in between, you can notice those kind of details. And then you click OK, and then you add another one. Well, I only made 2. And I go add. So now I had a cruise number 1. Sample, how does it work? If you're sitting doing surveillance work, you say, okay, now it's 11 o'clock, I will do my cruise 1. So you check all the spots of the presets in one line. Then you also have group cruises, the options. You have trace moves. What is trace? So what you do is, like, for example, let me take this one. This one works only with cameras from Safire Smart. So what I do is I create one I write down the name of the cruise, okay? So what I do is I click on start record, okay? I do my movements. I do up, I do zoom, a focus, zoom in, and I see another nice camera. Zoom out, I go all the way to the right, okay? And I do stop record. Now it is recorded here. So if I click on the trace, it will do exactly what I did. So it records your movements of the camera. Sometimes, in some cases, you need to do that because of the presets. It's difficult, or whatever comes easier for you. Anyhow, those options are there.
Was a question in the meantime, if you want to...
Is this about a PT set?
No.
Okay, then please save it a little bit after because otherwise it might be confusing for the other viewers. PT set task. Okay, well, you can create task. What is a task? Like a task for time of day, what to do what. You can set it up in here. You can select the function, presets, cruise, trace, random scanning, boundary scanning, all those kind of options you can do. You can select the starting time, whatever you want. So lots of options. This is why I think this especially the A1 price and the options you have in combination with the cameras it's really amazing from my point of view. Well, coming back to the smart tracking that I already explained. Do we see my mobile screen?
Now we do.
Okay. So in here you can switch to different cameras. Okay. It works fast. It works amazing fast. I don't think there's a camera. This is the PT set. This is the outside camera. This is the PT set of the Safire Smart. Okay, it really works amazing. If you want to have a multi-field view, you can do that as well. And you see, this is lifetime. Okay, this is real life. So if I move in front of this camera, you can see me, right?
Yeah.
So this is not fake. So one of the amazing features, okay? Let's say you want to look up a person that you caught. You want to look the evidence if they did something wrong. So what you do is you go here in the menu, right button, okay? You can search by image. Okay, so let me move my camera around. Let me take a nice picture of myself. Okay. So let me select a wider date. Well, obviously in a shopping mall, for example, you can do that between hours, stuff like that. Or you can select the date, any date you want. Okay, up to 30 days, that's the maximum. Okay, I click now on start searching. So, this fast, I'm sorry you need to see my face everywhere. You see the dates when you have my face. So you click on this and you see directly the recording. This is how fast it goes.
Amazing.
From my point of view, it's freaking amazing. I'm a bit slow in the morning. I see. Anyhow, go back. Notification, you can put it on and off the way you want to have it. And another thing. Okay, I just forgot. Let me go back to the main view. Okay. Remember we discussed about the alarm on and off? You can do it over here. So from the main screen on that recorder, you just swipe to the right. Okay, you click on disarming, and now because I set some cameras not notifying me, it will no longer not send me any notifications if you have the notifications on. So first, let me go back, okay? The way it should be enabled, okay? Normal mode, you have the notifications enabled. So, but quickly, you want to turn off the notifications because you're at home, and you don't want to have the notification because of the cameras inside your house or in your office. You do off, and all the cameras that you have selected will be off. No more notifications. It's nice. That's Amazon delivering my package, I hope. No, kidding, just kidding. Okay, and you switch it on just as easy like this again. Let me switch this off, otherwise I will be interrupted all the time. Adding persons, same thing. By the way, it works the best if you want to add people, use your mobile. It works great because your mobile phone has a better resolution camera in general. Adding license plates, again, if we have the camera inside, you can do it. It's nice. You can even add a group. Search by name, etc. Favorites to show on. Anything else regarding the application? Questions?
No.
No. Well, the playback goes like this. Same. So you see it works just fine and fast as well. You see, even moving forward, it works fast. It's definitely a game changer. I think.
You had a question, by the way, which just says search by image all recorders.
Search by image all recorders. You mean in here? Search by image. I don't know. Let me try again. There is no option here. Maybe later on, if we have more recorders connected in the system, I can check those options for you. Or I'll order an extra recorder with 2 more cameras and test it yourself. In general, but ask first to confirm, okay? In general, if we have enough stock, if you say, okay, I want to test this because I believe this is good and nice for my clients, order the recorders and the cameras that you want to test with, notify the salesperson, because if we are low on stock, this doesn't count. You need to buy it. If we have enough stock, test it. Make sure you return the camera default factory settings, the recorder default factory settings. Make sure everything looks nice. Do not test it for longer than 10 days, otherwise we will not do create a credit or you get less back. I mean, you also don't want to have a recorder that's being used, okay? So this is I think a fair policy, and also gives you the advantage to test stuff yourself in your environment, because not all the situations are the same. I can do tests, they work fine, but all of a sudden you implement it and it doesn't work. Why? Because of a different environment. It's more darker, it's this, you need to have a different camera with a low light sensor. Stuff like that. But anyhow, general, you can always ask us to test it. Feel free to test stuff yourself as well. Any questions?
Well, there's a question that's unrelated to this, but it's still a question. How to reset IP camera password?
Okay, I do have this. I do have this camera, right?
Yeah.
We go to the support pages. We select IP. then we select this or directly. Sometimes there are more articles, so you open the directory. In this case, IP camera password reset. You need to use this tool. The link is in here. You select the camera, and then this is for default factories, and then you mark here, I don't remember the password, okay? Follow the instructions. The camera will be reset default factory settings, and you can enter the new password. You can do this all by yourself. You don't need our help anymore. The only thing you need help is with the recorder. But anyhow, enter the questions. You can use your own questions. Whatever question you make, you can use to recover. Take advantage of this one, because it can save you or the client a lot of time. Any more questions?
No.
Nope. Then from my point of view, I think it was a very successful training today. And well, do not forget to write and email us when you have questions.
Actually, just now, 1 second ago, but it's more of a sales question though. It's are the smart cameras also available in black? They will be coming in grey. Of course, you always ask around, but for now, it's the grey that we know we will have. For the rest, no more technical questions, by the way, just to confirm that.
Okay. I just remember a question that I want to address. If you're having a PU network recorder and you want to add a camera from a different brand, you need to set the camera to the fixed IP address on the IP range of the recorder. Save that, then unplug the camera from the network and plug it into the recorder. Do we have an article on that one? I don't think so. Please check this page, okay? Maybe I'm gonna make one this week, if not next week, because I need to prepare the German version of the same training, so wish me luck in this case. Anyhow, up to now, thank you all for watching. Have a great weekend. If you want to order some samples, call your sales contact and see what is available for you. Thanks and have a nice weekend. See you next time.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want to know more about our security products, subscribe to the Visiotech channel and activate the notifications to always stay updated on the latest videos.